who is joined by paiN Gaming's AD Carry.
Thank you so much indeed, joined by BRTT after taking the victory over Counter Logic Gaming, and a nice one at that. Of course, I can assume that you won't be overly thrilled with this, seeing how you guys didn't make it out of group stage. How do you reflect, though, on this game? Because it seems like you really wanted to prove something in terms of individual skill, picking the Draven up against that paiN.
Então, vocês realmente não passaram de grupos, mas fizeram uma partida muito boa, principalmente nessa última com escolheram Draven. Como que foi que você quis se mostrar um pouco mais, mostrar o seu gameplay?
Eu não acho que o pick do Draven foi para provar alguma coisa. A gente já tinha treinado algumas vezes de picar o Draven em cima de Vayne, e acabou que aconteceu essa oportunidade e funcionou muito bem, graças a Deus.
Yeah, I didn't try to pick Draven just to show my skills or anything. We've been training that against Vayne, and it ended up happening, so that was good.
Yeah, whatever happened, you still got that win versus CLG. I feel like there were certain moments in the tournament where it was very close and you could have maybe grabbed more games. What for you is maybe the biggest regret or the biggest thing that you think we should have done this and we could have maybe made it?
Em outros jogos, a gente quase chegou lá, vocês quase chegaram lá. O que vocês acham que poderiam ter feito um pouquinho diferente para realmente fazer uma diferença e sair do grupo?
Eu acho que desde do primeiro dia que a gente chegou aqui na Europa, a gente notou que o nosso maior problema era as decisões no mid-game, no meio do jogo, porque o nosso começo do jogo costuma ser bem forte, e deu para mostrar isso nesse Mundial, só que acaba que chega no mid-game e a gente tem alguns problemas de comunicação, de call, que acaba fazendo com que o jogo desande bastante, e eu acho que esse é o maior problema.
Okay, so since the first day we got into Europe for the boot camp, we saw that and realized that our problem was the communication and the decision making during the mid game. Our early game is really strong, and we kind of proved that during Worlds. So we really had to improve that, and that's what we think that we have to improve at.
Yes, definitely some more games you could take. Even with all that, the most wins ever for a wildcard team at Worlds, the most wins ever for a Brazilian team. I don't want to say it's a great start because you must feel that there was so much more you can do, but what do you think, looking at the future, what can you do with this team if you get another chance?
Então, realmente, é a segunda vez que o Brasil vem para o Mundial e dessa vez ganhamos 2 jogos. Tá melhorando cada vez mais. O que você acha que o Brasil está fazendo? O que você acha que, como você olhando para o futuro, vê esse time tendo uma nova oportunidade no Worlds?
Eu acho que isso é uma prova de que o cenário brasileiro tá aumentando muito o nível, os times do Brasil são muito fortes, então, mesmo a gente treinando só com times da nossa região, tá dando para evoluir bastante. É claro que não está no nível ideal ainda, é claro que o bootcamp ajudou bastante, só que eu consigo ver que o nosso cenário está evoluindo muito, mesmo estando um pouco distante ainda das outras regiões, mas...
So we really see the Brazilian scene is improving a lot, even though we're training only with the local teams. When you have a chance to boot camp, we can really learn and improve our game. So that's what we expect, continue growing and really showing that our team and our capacity.
Well, BRTT, with all that, you do look a little down to me, and I can totally understand why. But one thing is for sure, even right here, the Brazilian fans were behind you and a lot of fans. Is there anything you want to say to them?
Então, a gente percebe que mesmo assim você parece um pouquinho chateado, mas tem muitos fãs brasileiros aqui presentes que estão torcendo por você. Tem alguma mensagem que você gostaria de passar para eles?
Esse lance chateado eu não sei. É claro que depois do jogo contra a Flash Wolves eu acho que foi o jogo que eu fiquei mais chateado, porque ficou um gostinho ali que, nossa, cara, aquele jogo realmente estava na nossa mão. Só que eu estou muito satisfeito com o nosso desempenho, mesmo a gente não tendo passado da fase de grupo, a gente conseguiu mostrar um bom jogo e era isso que eu queria. Eu queria mostrar que o Brasil tem força realmente para bater de frente com os outros times, e foi isso que aconteceu. Eu gostaria de agradecer todos os fãs do Brasil, todos os fãs ao redor do mundo todo, pela força, que eles nunca desistiram da gente. Até o último jogo aqui eles estavam torcendo. A torcida daqui também, que torceu muito. Muito obrigado a todos. Amo vocês, é nóis.
So yeah, really want to appreciate it. I thought I was a little bit down, but because of the game against Flash Wolves that we almost won, we almost got it. So you really felt that taste of victory, and it didn't come. Right now, I'm really relieved, but I really want to thank all the crowd, not only here, but all over the world. And the crowd here was really yelling and screaming our name, so thank you very much. I love you all, not the guys from Brazil, but all over the world that supports us. Thank you very much.
Well, it's true. They have been cheering for you the whole time. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you guys play. Obrigada. Well, guys, take it away.
Thank you, Shocks. You know, a tremendous victory for them. The best showing of an international wildcard team ever at the World Championship. And so close, actually, to making it out of this group. They really should be holding their heads high with the showing that they put up in this group stage.
100%. What a performance out of these guys. You know, they came through as heavy underdogs, and if that Flash Wolf game had have been one decisive team fight away, that Baron play,
yes,
we could be looking at a completely different group setup. And they played like champions the whole way through. They were always trying to play their style of League of Legends. You can see that they've taken things away from this that are going to be invaluable. And really, 2 wins for a wildcard team just shows how quickly Brazil, at least, is closing the gap.
I'm a bit disappointed that they had banned Gangplank all the games, and then they just play it out here, and it wasn't a champion that shouldn't have. It wasn't bad. You know, I think you could have played this Gangplank out the entire tournament, and we could have seen another win just out of the sheer overpoweredness of the champion. And you know what? It's something that you learn, and it's hindsight 2020.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of Gangplanks, but at least he got to play it here. I like the Twisted Fate and the Draven versus the Vayne. So they had things that seemed practiced coming in here, but they got pretty much everything they would want in this draft. Then they went out on a high note here.
And if nothing else, that team has swagger. I mean, the Twisted Fate and the Draven were pretty on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I do want to look at the flip side of the coin for just a moment. CLG, you know, 2-1 to start in week 1, and then closing out the day here, 0-3.
Where's that?
I mean, the rise and fall of America's #1 seed.
That boat is long. It's right at the bottom here.
It's with all of the sun-dried tomatoes smashed and shriveled on the floor. Is that what's going on, Crow?
An interesting fact about this game, though, Aframu did 5,400 damage. With 1 damage ability, by the way, this is Bard. Zion Spartan on Riven did 5,469. So
we won.
So you're telling me he outdamaged him.
More damage, but this wasn't a game where you could really judge out of CLG. They definitely were not playing anywhere how they play the entire group stage. It just wasn't them. They're just having fun. I think they just wanted to get it over with.
I think
they probably feel embarrassed to be here with all the expectations they had set up.
I actually think that's worse, though. If you can't pull it together for 1 game for your fans, and don't get me wrong, as I said, this is one of those games where you just have to surely come out and put on a good performance, and they can honestly take very little away from this world's experience now.
Yeah, and I think they were rather tilted coming into this game. You pick the Vayne blind pick, you pick it, you take Exhaust as well. He went full prototype black on that one. That's a solo play type of style there. You want to go ahead and split push, and you saw it there. It looked like they had lost some trust in each other, and they just went all out on, let's try to carry this game by one individual instead of a team. And that was just CLG. I think they got in their own heads and said, our team play wasn't working. Let's just try this last thing.
Well, now, you know, regardless of their Worlds performance, I do think it is important to note the journey that they took to get here, right? CLG at Worlds alone is already a big accomplishment for that organization and their growth in more recent times.
I guess it really speaks to the chase is better than the catch. They can just forget about the catch for this one because they had a fantastic run all the way through where they really showed their improvement as a team into high-level matches, such as the one of Madison Square Garden. But for here, it just...
I think one thing that you can take away is that their preparation going into big matches has been much better than it has been in the past. So credit to whoever is responsible behind that, their new coaching staff and all those things, because they were a team that used to look good once they got on Summoner's Rift. Now they're looking good going into the matches, and they had one very good strategy. So there definitely are some good signs there for the future of CLG.
Yeah, and getting this experience under their belt as well. You look at somebody like Pobelter. This was his first playoffs, even getting in there, and then he won playoffs. So first Worlds for a lot of these guys to actually be up there on that stage. So they have that under their belt. They can get that experience and get some of those nerves out of the way for maybe next time they show up here.
Now, ending on a high note real quick with this group, I think what today showed, if anything, was that nothing was decided necessarily in week 1.
Yep.
So much can happen in week 2. We had a team that was 1-2 going into, into this day, 3-0, and now they're at the top of the group, first coming out of it.
Years of watching Animal Planet could not have prepared me to see tigers get slain by wolves. It just did not make any sense going with the preparation.
How often do those two things run into each other, Crumbs? What are you watching?
Very powerful thing. But yeah, the Flash was really the highlight of this group. It was entertaining, to say the least.
Yes.
It was a Cinderella story in itself of poor play from game one, but constantly improving, expanding the champion pool, and meeting every single expectation and more.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to check in with you at home and see your world's big play callouts. At De Facto Genius put it very simply. Jinx still has it. Here is your world's big play to close out Group A.
From 3 members of Counterlogic Gaming, and they're right back in. Another unstoppable force. 4-member pop-up. Double lift on the outside. They're going to actually have to look away from him. Stake's going to take down a 1v1. Double kill coming in for NL, looking for a triple kill. That's a triple. That's going to be the quadra. He gets a pentakill. NL, pentakill.
慢慢打就好，慢慢打。我看他死了，我看他死了，我看他死了。double lift，不会死到下面哦。下面哦 ，AD 上
Up from the Flash Wolves comes up Trump again. Everyone's there helping him out, but NL, wow, that was such a big change up, bringing this guy into the light.
Yeah, I think the communication issues that they had with Kramer were definitely just something that was only affecting them that day. When they sub in NL, boom.
Never lose, man. Never lose.
He lost one game.
He did lose one game.
He lost one.
But
sometimes lose.
next to never lose. All right, well, with Group A on the books, let's take a look at how the teams stacked up. The LMS's Flash Wolves will enter the quarterfinals as the #1 seed, with Korea's Coup Tigers taking the #2 spot. Meanwhile, CLG and paiN Gaming will have to catch the action in London from the stands. Well, that does it for today, but tomorrow we'll get to see who rises to the top of Group C. It starts with SK Telecom versus Edward Gaming, big matchup there. Then the Bangkok Titans will challenge H2K, and they'll stay on the Rift to go up against Edward Gaming following that. The action kicks off at 2 p.m. Central European Summer Time. That's 5 a.m. Pacific, so set your alarms. Now I'm going to have to remember to do just the same. Gentlemen, we're starting the day off tomorrow with a very big matchup. This is one that SKT got the better of last time, but if EDG can equalize here, we push ourselves possibly to a tiebreaker for first place in this group.
Yeah, and this is a matchup that a lot of people are thinking is going to be the finals of the entire tournament. And last time they went head-to-head, EDG did blind pick a lot of things, and I thought they were milking SKT for some strategies, but I want to see if that continues, if they try to get more out of them, or if they're just going to clash against them this time and try to see if they can actually hold up and then force a tiebreaker.
Yeah, and EDG is a really proud team. They have some of the most proud, clear love. They have paiN. So they will throw everything at this matchup. This is going to be huge for the #1 seed, and I can't wait to see it get underway.
Yeah, I wouldn't count the first encounter that they had as a telltale as to what's going to happen this time around. At MSI in the group stage, SKT did the same thing. They obliterated EDG, and then they ended up losing to them in the final. So this time, fresh slate. Anybody could take this.
Well, without a doubt, they've had plenty of time to prepare for it, and it will be their biggest matchup of the day. That's going to do it for us tonight. So for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for your daily recap of Worlds Tonight in just 15 minutes.